Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to be looking at foundations of data collection. So statistics is the gathering, analyzing, and presenting of data. When you make a statistical study, you first have to determine the population and the sample, collect the data, organize the data into tables and graphs, and analyze the data to present your findings. Some typical ways to collect information is through surveys, questionnaires, interviews, logs, which is where the participant writes down what they're doing every so often, and diaries. In a statistical study, we have a population and a sample. The population is the entire set of objects, people, animals, plants, etc., from which the data might be collected. So the population is who or what you are studying. The sample is part of the population that you use to represent the entire group that you are surveying. So the sample is who or what you actually collect the data from. So in example 1, identify the population and the sample. A survey of 1,253 American households found that 83% of the households own a computer. So in this situation, the population is American households, and the sample are the 1,253 households that we actually collected data from. Okay, looking at our next example, an agency wants to know what the opinions of Florida residents are on the construction of a new road. The agency surveys 800 residents. So the population are the Florida residences, and the sample is the 800 residents that they surveyed. So the sample is typically smaller than the population. What's important about every sample is that every sample should be unbiased, representative, and selected at random. An unbiased sample accurately represents the entire population. A random sample means that each item or person in the population has an equal chance of being selected. A representative sample is a portion of the population that is similar to the entire population. So, Tori surveyed a large number of women at a golf course about their favorite activity. She concluded that women's favorite activity is golfing. Was Tori's sample biased or unbiased, and explain. So, Tori's sample is biased, and biased means bad. It's biased because of where she did her survey. She talked to women at a golf course about what their favorite activity is. And typically, someone wouldn't go to a golf course unless golfing was one of their favorite activities. So for an explanation, we have to say her sample was biased towards golf since she selected people at a golf course. Okay, looking at our next example. Determine whether or indicate whether the following are random samples from the given population. Explain. The population is all students in an elementary school, and the sample is you're surveying only the first graders. This is not a random sample. This is not a random sample. And they want us to explain. So the elementary school has more than first graders in it. And if we think about how FM is laid out, the elementary is grades K through 4. So this makes it a not random sample. Population, students at Wellwood Middle School, and the sample of putting each student in a hat and drawing a sample from the hat. This is random. So this is a random sample. Everyone in the population has the same chance of being selected. Okay, our next example. When you conduct a survey, you have to ask questions that do not influence the answer. A biased question is a question that makes an unjustified assumption or makes some answers appear better than others. So just like a sample can be biased or unbiased, the question and the language you use in the question can be biased or unbiased. So determine if each question is biased or fair, and fair means unbiased. Don't you agree that the voting age should be lowered to 16 because many 16-year-olds are responsible and informed? This would be a biased question. With the language that you are doing, you're leading the person you're surveying, you're leading them to answer yes, because you're saying, don't you agree? 16-year-olds are responsible, they're informed, they can make their decisions. So that's a biased question. The budget of the Wake County Public School System is short of funds. Should taxes be raised in order for this district to fund extracurricular sports programs? This is a fair question because the way that sports programs are funded is through the taxes, so you're not influencing them to answer yes or no, you're just asking their opinion. You randomly survey students in your school about their favorite food. The results are shown in the table below. So we have pizza, hamburger, pasta, and other. There are 825 students in your school. Based on the survey, predict how many of the students in your school have pizza as their favorite food. So what I would do first is I would figure out how many were in our sample. So we're going to add up to find our sample size. So I'm using my calculator to add together 58, 36, 14, and 17. There are 125 people in our sample. Next, you have a couple of options. The way I find the quickest to do is to find the fraction for pizza. It was 58 out of 125. And I'm going to multiply that fraction by the total students in the school, which they told us was 825. So I'm using my fraction key and I'm multiplying it out. And I get that there would be 382 8/10. And in this context, we have to realize we have to round, so it would be approximately 383 students would prefer pizza. I hope this video helps. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.